What's up, guys? We are back again for our Benzinga Penny Stock Show. I hope you all are having a good weekend. Again, we are back for our Benzinga Show. We're going to be looking at some of the big movers. Friday was honestly a pretty good day in the market. It was much better than, really the previous few days of last week. Last week was pretty boring initially, but Friday we did get some action. So I'm excited to see what we get at the opening bell Monday and talk about the stocks that are moving, what we're specifically watching and all that good stuff. Let me fix this camera a little bit. Sorry, team. While I adjust my camera, bear with me. All right, that should be fine. But yeah, guys, so I'm ready to look at some stocks. Let me know, as always, when we first get started here, let me know a few stocks, any specific stocks that you might want us to look at real quick. While we're letting everyone get joined in, I'm also going to go ahead and post this on my Facebook. What's up, Matt? Hey, good evening, sir. What's up, Hyder? What's up, Ali B? Hey, good afternoon, guys. Happy to be here. I always love doing this penny stock show on Benzinga. And yeah, let me go ahead and share this video while we're at it here so people can go ahead and get joined up. Let me post this here. Oh, wait, I might not have added. Oops. Here, let me do something real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. And yeah, we'll get rolling here. I think I forgot to do one thing that I need to change here for this. So give me 1 second, guys. I also got to share this. But yeah, while I'm doing this, give me some call outs that you want to see us take a look at while we're letting everyone go ahead and get joined here. That way we can have some stuff to look at while people are joining up the stream, let's see. What else do we have moving today, guys? I know we had like TKAT that we could take a look at. We had like OCG, HOFV. We had some stuff that moved last week. Some really fun stuff. Yeah, that should be good. All right, that should be good enough. Okay. And then let me share this real quick, and we should be good to go, guys. But yeah, let me know some stocks you want us to take a look at. We'll go. What's up, Tammy? What's up, Dream Miner? Good evening, sir. Hey. Happy to be here. Happy to be here, man. Let me go ahead and share this on. Oh, I forgot to add everyone. Let me edit that. All right. There we go. We have been shared. All right. So yeah, look at BYNT. That's what I'm looking at. I see SEGI, SRKT. Let's take a look at SRKT while we're hanging out here. We'll see what this one has for us. SRKT. You might be talking about SYPR. I know last week we had TKAT and OCG moving. We had some interesting stuff there from that sector, from the NFT sector. We had like BNGO, and we're gonna look at some more of these a little bit later. I see somebody mentioned SEGI. Now, I do want to preface this show like I always do with, I am not really focusing on OTC pink sheets. The reason for that is because it's just not my niche. I'm mostly focusing on small cap penny stocks that are NASDAQ listed. Like I'm mostly looking at like major exchange listed stocks, no pink sheets, unfortunately. The daily chart doesn't look bad for this one though. I could go ahead and analyze it, but with that in mind, understand that this is certainly not my niche, and I could very well be easily be wrong with this. I would look at like 75 cents here, though. I think 75 cents is a big milestone level, or not 75, 7.5 cents. And then I guess 10 cents up here has some resistance. The daily chart doesn't look bad. I think we got some support here, like 2.5 cents. That might be interesting there. But again, it's just not really my style. There's not too much action here with this one. And so it's not one of the ones I would generally trade, just because, I mean, if you see the volume here, it's pretty light. There's not much going on with it. Yeah, no worries, Tammy. PRTY, Party City. Yeah, we can take a look at Party City. To be honest, guys, I don't know how I feel about Party. Like, I really don't. Like, I thought Party City was super weak, a few years ago. I thought Party City wouldn't be around. And to be fair, I mean, they have had a pretty rough time over the last 6 years. They dropped from 22 down to 6. But I think just Party City being at $6 is great for them. Because, I mean, if you really think about it, they're almost obsolete now. Like, people order products off of Amazon now. They don't really go to Party City. They don't really go to brick and mortar stores like that. I do think that maybe one part of party that I missed before is that a lot of the time people don't have time to order their party supplies off of Amazon. I know, like me specifically, if one of my kids are having a birthday party, I'm going down the street somewhere, maybe Party City, because I'm probably going to buy it the day before, and it's just going to be easier. And it's also going to be easier to pick out stuff at the store where you can look and find exactly what you want, as opposed to having to find everything online. So maybe that'll give them a little bit more longevity. I don't know, though. It's one of those things that it doesn't look terrible. The daily chart looks pretty strong overall for the last year. I mean, but you got to understand the context of, it's at 41. It was at 41 cents at the beginning of the year. And so there's only one way it can really go from there. I mean, it's going to go up from that. But the longer term chart here shows the real trend, which is just down, slight up move, down, slight up move. But there's still time. And again, I think that people are still going to use places like Party City to buy stuff. And so I think long term, it'll probably be fine. But I just think it'll stay down here because I think they are going to lose sales to, Amazon and mail order supplies and stuff like that. So that's just my take on it. It's a very subjective take. I could very easily be wrong with Party City. I really don't know. And I'm just obviously just speculating here. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and say this, guys. Remember, I am not an expert, and this is not professional advice. This is for purely entertainment purposes only. This is only my subjective opinion. I don't know what these stocks are going to do. I could very easily be wrong about all of this. Not an expert here. We're just looking at stocks together. I'm talking about my own, again, subjective opinion. And so I did want to preface the rest of this show with that understanding. But yeah, we can look at party. Let's see, SYPR and SKLZ. Yes, skills, man. SKLZ, it had some crazy movement last week as well. I mean, skills really popped off, had some big movement and some interesting movement for sure. I never really got involved with it, and so I never really traded it much, but it is something that I generally was watching overall for most of last week. And so it's something that, just because it was so volatile last week, it's something that I'm also going to be watching this week as well, obviously, is this week as well. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. We can look up the news for this one in a second, but I did day trade this, I think, once, but not a ton. Daily chart doesn't look great, to be honest. Daily chart doesn't look great. It's just it's a tall mountain decline, if you will, getting back up there to these highs. It's been in a downward trend really for a few months now. It's just been downward trending. Every one of these candles equals 1 day, and you can see it's had a large majority of red days. Aside from this recent push a few days ago, it's had a pretty tough time, over the last 2 to 3 months as well. And so, I don't know what's going on with it, but we can look into it a little bit later as well in the show. Kathy Woods bought it. Don't sue me. Yeah, Matt, don't sue me. All right. The JOB CEO and CFO bought stock last week, week and a half ago. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened here. I don't know if they had some type of bad news that came out for this one. It's gapping up a little bit. Let's see if we can find some bad news for JOB. I don't know if that's what it is, but again, we're gonna look into it and see. Here, let me see something here. And so yeah, we're taking a look at this. Yeah. I don't see any catalysts. I see they announced the repayment of $56 million in debt. That came out about a week ago. I don't see any other calls for any of this big action. Let me see when this big drop was. This drop is the concerning part. And I mean, the daily chart still doesn't look great for JOB. But, maybe, again, I'm skeptical of all stocks. And so especially with these penny stocks, if I see a stock that spikes and fails and spikes and fails and spikes and fails, but maintains a downward trend, I'm skeptical of it. I see Savvy Management reported a 9.9% stake in the company. So something bad came out on the 14th. Okay, so this was an offering. So they offered more shares, more dilution. unfortunately, is what this is. And so this is just the company needing to make money and diluting the stock right here is what this was. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's gapping up a little bit, and regardless of whether I'm going to invest in it or not, a lot of these penny stocks can be pretty volatile. Regardless of whether I think the long-term viability is there, a lot of these can be really volatile as well. All right, guys, what's up, Tanvir? What's up, Clyde? Closing an offering? Yeah, it was an offering. It was dilution, is really what it is. For those that don't know about offerings. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start taking a look at the stocks that I have on my list today. And so with that said, guys, let's look at the top stock movers coming soon. All right, guys, so the first stock that we're looking at today that's on the top stock mover list is SYPR. Now, this is one that a lot of people were talking about. This is one that had some really big movement. You can see how much I've actually documented this one and traded this one. You can see all my lines here still in this chart, and I'm still watching most of these lines. We're going to get rid of these up here because I think these are less relevant right now where we're sitting, but I think we can still really watch 360. I think 360 is really confirmed here. If we zoom in, you can see 360 has been, touched a few times here. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, 4, so 365, 6, we got a bunch of confirmations at 360. And so a lot of people are going to be watching that level. I think, again, 360, 350, I'm sure it's going to kind of blend in there. And then we also have the top of this range up here at like 450. So 450, we got a confirmation there. Let's see what else we got. We do have some more here, all of that. So we do have some confirmation at 450. So I'm looking at that range, and we're going to see what happens here. The good thing about establishing a low like this, where we have this low down here that we can pay attention to, that a lot of other traders are watching, and then this high up here, is that we have a little bit of a range that we can see what happens around that range. Right now, we're kind of battling that range in after hours. And so that's the first thing I'm going to watch with this one is, can it hold over 450? The previous closing price has got to be somewhere around where we're sitting now. And so I think, watching it around 450 and where it currently is to see if the sentiment changes in pre-market makes some sense. And it's something that we're going to, watch, pay attention to, and ultimately see what happens with that. I do see here that it had a catalyst that dropped last week, that its electronics unit won a contract for a deep space program. It's also a pretty small float here. So this is an 11 million float stock. The daily chart, if we look into that, doesn't look horrible. It doesn't look good either, in my opinion, but it doesn't look bad. It's kind of neutral to me. It spikes and then fails and spikes and then fails, but the longer term trend is moving up, if in a slow way. But you can even see it spikes, fails, spikes. It spikes and fails a lot, and that's something to take into consideration. It does spike and fail a lot, but at the same time, it is worth watching, I think, and especially with this latest big volume surge where it had over 100 million last week on a few days, then that is going to signify some strength, and that's going to signify us seeing this one as having somewhat of potential. Now, again, I'm not saying this thing's going to run up. I don't know if this thing's going to go up, down, or sideways. What I am saying is that I'm going to be watching it and see if it's volatile at the opening bell tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, if we're looking at some highs, I'm looking at this high up here at $5 as well. We're pretty far away from that. Unlikely that we're going to hit that, at least in the first few minutes. But if this one gets some volume behind it and starts to run, we're certainly going to pay attention to it. Let me know what you think in the comments. What's up, Steve? Hey, what's up, Carlos? HCMC. Yeah, we can look at that one a little bit later. But yeah, the next one we're looking at is OCGN. Now, OCGN here, this one moved a crazy amount last week. This one had some crazy volatility. The reason it was up most of last week is because Bharat Biotech announced the second analysis of their phase 3 program, or phase 3 trial of Covaxin for COVID vaccines that demonstrated 78% efficiency in mild, moderate, and severe cases of COVID. So it had a good catalyst because Bharat Biotech is basically their partner for the US. So it had a good catalyst there. It also did a $100 million registered direct offering of common stock priced at a premium to the market. And the CEO posted LinkedIn updates saying that they're going to prepare for an EAU or EUA and FDA submission for COVID. And so all of that stuff is pretty good for it. We're watching it and paying attention to it. Some real good catalysts. It's a little bit larger float of a stock, but, you know, when volume gets in like this, the float size, it's not insignificant, but it matters less because there's so many traders trading it, then you can still get into some good trades using it. You know, volume's usually a huge indicator of whether I'm going to be involved with it or not, or want to trade it. And OCGN certainly had some great volume last week. And, you know, we got into a few really good trades last week, and we'll go over those a little bit in the trade of the week as well. But again, it has a 15% short float. So it's got a bunch of shorts in there that could potentially get squeezed out and cause some upward momentum. And yeah, 180 million shares in the float. But again, this one looks strong. It's really high volume and a nice move in pre-market or in after hours from Friday as well. So even in after hours, it had some big movement and some big momentum coming through there. And yeah, we're watching this one. Certainly, it's certainly interesting enough for me to pay attention to. And we'll see what happens here. You know, we'll see what happens. It's moving up in pre-market or in after hours. It's over $11 now. So I'm watching that $11 level, see if it can hold there. And yeah, I think a lot of traders are watching this. And again, that's one of the biggest things with this. I think there's so many other traders just paying attention to this one that it's going to be worthwhile watching. I'm not saying it's going to go up. I don't know. It looks strong in after hours, but again, anything can happen with these penny stocks. What I am saying is that I'm certainly going to be watching this to see if it goes up. That's it, guys. That's all I'm saying. And so, yeah, with that said, I'm watching OCGN, certainly. The next one we're looking at, guys, is BTX. We're looking at BTX. Now, if we look at BTX here, this one had some strong movement last week. And I know it's a little bit more expensive than the stocks we generally trade, but it had some strong movement last week. You know, big movement. If we look at the daily chart here, it's a pretty good looking daily chart. It recently is breaking highs, you know, breaking over some pretty big levels from previously on this chart, the previous history of it. You can see we broke over 14, which was a major resistance level before that. We broke over 1550. We broke over 1350 down here. And so we have a lot of support potentially underneath us now from these previous resistance levels on this daily chart. And so we've got a lot of levels that we can watch that are now underneath us that we recently broke over. And, you know, we're sitting pretty nicely above these levels, and they're all levels that we can pay attention to. The range is pretty big here. So it does have a pretty big range on this one. The range is pretty large, but that's probably because it's less than 50 million in the float. It's got really good volume, and it also had a catalyst. And I'm going to go ahead and quote this from BTX, and they said, quote, "In the middle of the month, Brooklyn Immunotherapeutics announced that they paid $1 million towards a license for the acquisition of a license for Factor Biosciences and Novellus mRNA gene editing and cell therapies for tech, and has extended through May 21st the option exercise as well." And so pretty good catalyst for this one. We're going to watch it. A lot of traders are paying attention to this one as well. Again, small float, 35 million, under 50 million float, big range. A lot of people were watching this one from last week, and it had a really strong day on Friday as well. If we look at Friday, pretty strong Friday day, maintained over the VWAP, continued up, you know, pushed up. Where did it open up from? About 12, pushed up about, you know, 10 to 20%, and you know, looks strong. We'll see if it can hold over $16. Again, that's what I'm watching. 1550, 14 underneath this, where that previous confirmation. I don't know why, but Carol Baskin was interested in the stock, and so there was some hype from that. I didn't see any known catalyst. If you guys know the catalyst for Zomedica, let me know, because I couldn't find anything about this stock. You know, any reason for this stock going up. I have no idea why this stock moved up. Mostly technicals, I guess. It does have $1 billion in the float, but it was pretty volatile last week as well. And I made a decent amount of money from this one too. So like, that's all some pretty good things. Like, I made a decent amount of money from this one. And ultimately, I'm pretty pumped that the stocks under $1 have been working for me, to be honest, because I never really traded these a ton. And, you know, I usually strayed away from these, but the market's been so dull and slow lately that I'm looking for stuff to trade. And this one's been pretty volatile. I made some money back on, I believe it was the 21st for Zomedica. But yeah, Carol Baskin's favorite stock. It is moving some. It's at 94 cents. I really want to see if it's going to break $1. I think that's what a lot of people are watching and paying attention to, is that $1 break. Oh, I didn't realize Benzinga's doing another show right now. I'm sitting there wondering why the views are low today. That makes sense, actually. So Benzinga's doing a replay from their penny stock conference thing. So that makes sense, actually. Why the views are so low. I was sitting there like, man, why are the views so low today? It's rare. I've been doing this show every day. We usually get 130, 150 people here, but now that actually makes sense. But yeah, Zamitica, we're looking at $1. We're going to see what happens there. I think $1, big psychological milestone level that a lot of other traders are watching. And if we extend this to the left, you can see we do have some confirmation from this chart previously. And so we're going to watch $1, see if it holds over that spot. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'm also looking at 150. Here's 150. And so if we can get over $1, that's going to be probably where I look to next. Again, though, I think it's got a lot of room to make up. It needs to hold over $1. A lot of the time with these penny stocks, guys, you'll see them break $1 and then come right back down. And so with this, I want to see it break $1 and actually hold that $1 level. And then I might have a little bit more confidence in it. But until it actually holds over that level, I'm a little bit skeptical. And again, guys, one of the lessons here is like you got to look at certain levels like they're milestone levels. So like they're levels that all the other traders are paying attention to and ultimately watching. And that way, you know that they'll have some buyers stepping in where you want them to step in at those specific levels. And so, yeah, those are all levels that we're watching because of that. $1, half dollars, like 50 cents, 75 cents, $quarter. All those levels are relevant because, again, a lot of other traders are naturally watching those levels because they're psychological. And so with that, we're going to look at $1, especially a stock that's underneath $1, that's, you know, edging closer to that. That's something that we're going to watch and paying attention to with technical trading, just because, again, it's a big psychological level that others are watching. The next one that I have on my list, guys, is BGI. Now, this one moved in after hours as well. I couldn't find any catalyst here. I'm still struggling to see if we could find any catalyst. Again, if you know why BGI is moving, let me know, because I didn't find any company-specific news to justify this. Benzinga reported that as well. They reported that Burke's Group are trading higher, not saying any company-specific news to justify the price action. I do see that it is a low float stock as well. So the float is 4 million. So a very small float here. And so anytime we have a small float stock with volume like this, I'm interested in watching it. There was way better volume at the end of after hours, but usually these are a precursor to some big moves in pre-market. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is going to move in pre-market. I generally don't know. A lot of these are going to fail, to be honest. But we're watching it because sometimes we do get big moves. And if we get big moves, you know, I'm going to pay attention to this one. Some levels that stick out to me are $3. It's right around this resistance here at $2.98. We have some here, some here. And a lot of with technical trading, you got to find kind of the middle ground that gives you the middle ground between different levels. And I think $3 is a good middle ground for a lot of these. We do have the pre-market high up here at 340s. We'll see if we can even get up there, up close to where we are now, though. I want to see us break this VWAP level. Like, it needs to break this VWAP. I'm looking at $3 above us, but I want to see it break over those two levels and actually hold. If it can do that, I'm a little bit more confident in it. But we got to wait and see if that actually happens. You know, if the volume doesn't come back, this one might not be super favorable. So again, with this, I'm basically just waiting for that volume to come in, and we'll see if it happens. The last one I'm looking at, guys, is VYNT. So we're looking at VYNT, and this one is sitting from 360 all the way up to $4. This one, just like the last one, pretty small float. It's 25 million in the float with this one. Looking into the actual daily chart for it, I'm not really loving this daily chart. It's not really a super favorable daily chart, in my opinion. Mostly a downward trend. Now, we are spiking up a little bit, and we're currently sitting about $4. So we're still sitting right around there. It's not that big parabolic move that I want to see. But again, we are moving up some in pre-market. And the reason for this is that they had a collaboration with Ordeos Bio to design and qualify biomarker-specific small protein therapeutics. So yeah, they're collabing with another company on another project is what the catalyst was for this one. Is that catalyst going to be sufficient enough to actually hold this one up? We'll see. You know, I'm questionable about it, but we'll have to wait and see if that's actually enough to hold this thing up. It's something that I'm paying attention to, that I'm watching. But yeah, maybe 2 out of these what is this, 6 stocks might run. And so again, as always, guys, I'm certainly not an investment professional. I don't know if these are going to continue going up. I don't know if these are actually going to work, but these are just stocks that I'm watching right now. And again, we'll see what happens with these. I don't know if they're going to move or if they're going to fail, but we're going to watch them at the opening bell. And I'm sure we're going to get a few more movers coming in pre-market tomorrow morning. Okay, so real quick, before we look at the next stock, let me know if you think the volatility is back. Friday was honestly a really good day in the market. We had a lot of volume Friday. There was a ton of stuff to trade. I had a lot of fun trading on Friday. Let me know how you feel about the market tomorrow. It's been so slow lately in the market. There just hasn't been a ton of good movement. It's been extremely slow and boring in the market, and it hasn't been fun. It's been really depressing in the market lately because nothing has been moving. You get a few, 1 or 2 stocks that make small moves throughout the day, but again, it's not the big parabolic volatile market we had over the last few years during this time. And so we'll see what happens. But we did get a great Friday. Again, I'm hoping that's a precursor to getting some volatility back tomorrow. Again, while we do that, let me know in chat what you think is going to happen. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, what's up, John? Hey, good to see you too, John. Thank you, man. Hey, what's up, Ahmed? How you doing, brother? Good to see you back, bro. Gio, what's up, dude? Keep chugging. Hey, thank you, Zach. Yeah, like Wolf of Wall Street, Jeff, huh? It's on its way to 50 cents. I'm hoping it is. Fun fact, I actually bought Dogecoin again. I did buy some Dogecoin. It wasn't a huge piece. It was like $500 worth, but I did buy some Dogecoin again on the dip. I bought it at like 26 cents, but I did buy some again. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, those are the stocks we're watching right now, guys. Now that we've looked at those stocks, let's go ahead and go over the penny stock trade of the week. Now, this is one of my favorite type of trades to get involved with. It's one of my favorite things to do is talk about the strategies we trade. And so with that said, guys, let's go ahead and look at the penny stock trade of the week. All right, guys. So now that we are looking at the penny stock trade of the week, my favorite trade of last week was on OCGA. Now, there's a lot of beautiful trades to get involved with. Number one, I'm going to show you 2 different trades that we get involved with, and I'm going to show you why. Okay. I can't stress enough, if you're trading the VWAP, how important volume specifically is. Volume is absolutely crucial if you're trading the VWAP. Now, just to give you a few examples of this, and I'm also going to be making a video that should be publishing sometime this week about this. But if we look at days like Friday with MVIS, for instance, where it was catalyst driven, it had really good volume, maintained over 500,000 shares traded a ton of the time per minute. 500,000 shares traded per minute, a ton of the time Friday. And you can see how beautiful this movement is, just how reliable this movement is. Every time it's over the VWAP, it pulls back to it. It respects the VWAP. It continues up. And with that in mind, there's a lot of profitable trades that you can get involved with if you are, looking at MVIS with this good volume. It's obviously maintaining a trend. And so there's dip buys that you could buy the dip, ride it up on the pullbacks to the VWAP, buy these pullbacks here. There's a lot of nice trades to get involved with. Once you see a stock that's maintaining good volume and in turn respecting a specific trend. That's really one of the best things to do, is learn to identify the stocks that are trending well and stocks that have good volume, because again, it's really self-evident when you look at the chart how fun and easy those trades are going to be when you're trading it. Maybe not fun, but easy those trades are going to be if you can identify stocks that respect specific trends and that have good volume, which is one of the reasons they do respect trends. Now, to further look in here with MVIS, if we scroll back here, here's a day when it did not have that good volume. Here's a day where it had that big spike in volume at the opening bell, and then it kind of quietly faded back down and the volume died out. Now, this is a big important thing to understand. Good volume, the stock maintains over the VWAP in an easier way. When the volume drops, look what happens. The stock does not maintain over the VWAP like that, and it maintains below it in that downward trend. And short traders love this because just like the last one, they're shorting into these bounces to the VWAP here. Like, look at these pops to the VWAP. They're shorting into those. But volume is absolutely crucial because it's going to help you identify what that type of trend is. Again, my number for volume is like 200 plus thousand shares traded per minute. And that's something that you really want to understand with a lot of these. We could also look at like OCGN here. Let me make sure this is working well. Yeah, it should be good. Sorry, I had to mute myself. Hey, thank you, Ahmed, for the $10 donation, brother. Thank you, dude. That's awesome, brother. Sorry, I just now saw that. Cheers to Ahmed, man. Hey, everybody give Ahmed a shout out. Thank you for that, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you, sir. Shout out to Ahmed. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the support. Certainly, dude. For sure. Thank you, bro. But yeah, so to go back to the trade of the week from last week, we look at OCGN. And again, guys, this is a strategy I've been repeating nonstop for months now, really. This is a strategy I've been repeating nonstop for months. And why do I repeat it? Because it works for me. This strategy works. It's a strategy I've been consistently using in the market for the last few months. And it's just extremely profitable because, again, we get the drop at the opening bell, which is what we look for. We have nice volume for OCG in here, maintaining over, 100 or over 1 million shares traded per minute. We finally get the pop over and the pullback. And we are buying these pullbacks here, guys. We're buying these pullbacks, these dips, and then we're riding the bounce up. These are trades that I get involved with almost every single day if we can find them. And again, let me zoom in here, my bad, guys, and we'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see it. All right, so here's the trade. Okay, let's clear this out one more time. Again, at the opening bell, we get a drop. What I describe it looking for is a U-shaped breakout pattern. We get a rip over the VWAP, we get a pullback to it, and then we ride the bounce. So with these type of trades, you're waiting for it to cross over this high of the day here. So we're waiting for it to break over this high as well as the VWAP. So you can see the VWAP here. We break over that high, we pull back to it. This is where we're dip buying as close to the VWAP as we can. And most of the time, to be honest, guys, I'm not I'm not riding this big move up. Most of the time, me as a scalper, I'm just taking this little baby pop right here. I'm just taking this little baby move. But that's plenty for me, and that's certainly it's still certainly justifiable to take these trades because for me as a scalper, this is a beautiful thing. And this is something that I see pretty consistently in the market. Another example of volume holding this thing up is that when volume comes in and we break a pre-market high pullbacks are my favorite things to get into as well. So if we look at the pre-market high here, look how well this thing holds over that pre-market high level. It breaks over it, pulls back to it, and then runs up. I think I got faked out here, to be honest. If I'm being so full transparency, I'm pretty sure I lost money on this trade, on this pre-market high pullback. But again, it's a good example of how you approach these. I think I lost money getting squeezed out right here. And I had some people criticizing me too about it. They said that it was too extended, which is an understandable argument for it. But yeah, it still worked. And again, volume helps this thing maintain really, really well. It had something that came out Friday. I guess it was an offering that I'm looking at here. But again, if you can take anything from these little strategy lessons here, it's find stocks with good volume. Like if you're day trading like me, especially, you need volume. Without volume, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. Like volume is the single most important thing if you're day trading these penny stocks, because volume is what's going to cause the patterns to fulfill. It's what causes the strategies to actually work, because you need volume to sustain. You need, if you're buying pullbacks, I've said it a million times, but if you're buying pullbacks, you need other buyers to buy those pullbacks as well. It's the only way it's going to work. You can buy a pullback all you want. If you don't have any other traders that think there's strength there and that step in when you step in, then it's just going to fail. It's going to come back down. You're just going to be a little bounce in a downward trend. And so what do you need, guys? You need volume. You need people watching it. You need people bullish in it. And you need to find the most obvious levels because of that. Again, if we document this here, look at this. We pulled right back down to this level after we broke it really. And, it just held really well, pulling back to this pre-market high level. And so if you can find really obvious levels like that to play off of, it's going to be a little bit easier time. And OCGN moved a ton last week. Same thing with BNGO. Like BNGO and OCGN both moved a bunch last week. They've quieted down at this point. But yeah, we had some big movement from them last week, and it was a fun time trading them. It was certainly welcomed volume relative to how the market has been the last few weeks. And I'm hoping the volume comes back. I really am. Yeah, I got you, Tanvir. Let me check back up in the chat. Yeah, leaving money on the table means you're profitable. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of traders get trapped into this thing where they only really it's hard to explain. They get trapped into this thing where they only where they think that they have to just let their winners run this crazy amount. You never go broke taking profits, is the common saying. Like a lot of the time, there's like a really specific way a lot of new traders think that you have to trade, but there's so many different niches and styles of trading, and you got to figure out what works the best for you, because what works for you might not work for somebody else. And so you got to figure out what you're good at in trading. And trust me, no offense to anybody here, you're not going to be good at it all. You're not going to be good at everything. You might think you are. That's probably not accurate. And so you want to figure out what you're actually good at in trading. Like with me, I'm good at taking profits quickly. I'm good at identifying profitable moves on a really short-term basis, getting in and out fast. You know, I'm good at exiting my short, or I'm good at cutting my losses because I don't hold on to them long at all. I cut very, very quickly out of my losses. But it also kind of happens with my wins as well. I take profit very, very quickly with my wins. But again, because of that, my accuracy generally sits at like, 70, 80, 90%, depending on how favorable the week is. And so with that said, find what you're good at, guys. That's what you want to do. It's not going to be universal. I know there's a lot of courses out there, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. But what you really should be doing is building a system yourself and finding what you're specifically good at. It's not going to be the same as what other people are good at. And if you want to have success and longevity in trading, really, you got to figure out what you're good at. That way you can, build the best system around what you're good at, if that makes sense. And that's a big, important part of trading that a lot of new traders miss and don't really understand. A lot of new traders just kind of copy other big time traders that they see making a lot of money, and that's fine. But you got to find what you're good at, because what you're good at is probably different from them. You got to figure out what works the best for your own trading personality. And again, it's not universal. Like some traders are going to be good at cutting losses quickly and scalping like me. Other traders are going to be good at getting really big risk reward targets, or getting really big reward targets, good risk reward trades, longer term, more patient trades. Other traders are going to master that and be much better at that. And so it really depends on your own personality. And again, if I could leave you guys with anything, just figure out what you're good at. It might take some time. Paper trade, that's when you want to use paper accounts to figure that out. And again, that takes time. Yeah, good rant on a Sunday. Hey, you know me. I can't let you guys go without a nice little rant. But yeah, guys, that's about it for today. If you got, I know my man who asked. Tanvir said wanted me to look at AMC. Yeah, AMC's not looking bad. I mean, it's over $10. My big level with this, like my big milestone level with AMC is $10. $10 is a big milestone level. If you look at the chart, you can see just a lot of confirmations on this one, on a repeated confirmation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we zoom back here and we look into the last time it was at 10, same thing. A lot of support there, a lot of respected levels at $10. Look here, like look at this. $10 has been holding, $9.50, $10 has been holding for a long time. Let's see if we can find it again. So we're back up there. All right, so yeah, here's $10 right here. So $10 is the big milestone level. It's where it goes from single to double digits. And I think a lot of traders are ultimately watching $10. And so, we can also look at some of these highs up here, like 1050. I think there's going to be some confirmations there that we can watch as well. And so I'm looking at this 10 to 1050 level. I think we're really going to start to have some more people involved with it when it breaks like $11. We got this high up there at 1065 that we can watch. But again, you got to look at these in milestones. And so we're looking at $11 up here as well, just because, it's been a while since it hit 11. Let's look at this daily chart. Yeah, the last time it was over 11 was, a few weeks ago. So it's been a few weeks until it hit 11. And even still, it didn't have an easy time doing so. And so we got some time, and we're going to see what happens with it. Daily chart looks good to me, honestly. The daily chart for AMC looks strong. And I used to be and I don't know what AMC is going to do. I think I was always pretty open about like AMC. I think AMC has a shot. I think it might rebound some from when COVID comes back. I know, the UFC had its first live event yesterday. How about Jorge Masvidal getting knocked out by Usman, man? I told everybody, man, Usman's another animal. That's another story, though. But yeah, with that said, the UFC had their first event with people back in it, with the crowd back in it, and it went super well. It was sold out. And so I'm wondering if, we're going to start to roll back to a normal economy now that the vaccine is out and now that people are more, they're more open to doing that type of thing. Are the movie theaters going to rebound some more? I think that's something to watch. That's something to pay attention to. Pre-COVID, these things were at like 15, 20 bucks a share. And so it's at 10 now. We'll see if it comes back. We'll see if it starts making money again. And yeah, I think that's an important thing to watch regarding it. Yeah, I mean, so John, obviously you're saying to Matt, yeah, I mean, I'm a scalper, bro. I'm a scalper, guys. And again, the benefits of a scalping system is that you're going to have pretty high accuracy most of the time. Like, that's one of the benefits, is that your accuracy is high. You might have a little bit worse risk reward like I do. Like, I have like a 1-to-1 ratio with scalping, but that's fine. You're not going to have incredible risk reward and incredible accuracy. Like, that's you might have a few specific systems, but they correlate off of each other. It's not something where you're just going to have a system that has organic, consistent 4-to-1 reward to risk and 80% plus accuracy. It's not going to happen like that. It's just not. Regardless of what anybody says, it's more so likely that if you have an organic system that gives you, 4-to-1 consistent reward to risk, you're going to have lower accuracy, and that's fine. And then same in return, you're going to have a scalping system that has, 80, 90% accuracy sometimes, but you got a 1-to-1 ratio, which is fine because you're making your money with the accuracy as opposed to the other types of systems which have lower accuracy, but where you're compensating for that with really good risk reward. And so they correlate and play off of each other. And that's something else you got to understand about trading as well. Figure out which you prefer. Are you more patient and would rather prefer better risk reward trades? Or are you less patient and more skeptical like me and would rather get in and out in 30 seconds and, maintain a really high accuracy rate? Because, they're both good in their own way and neither one of them is right or wrong. It all just depends on your own style, your own niche. So with that said, guys, I'll leave you guys with that for today. I appreciate everybody having fun here and joining me on this show. I do say, though, guys, if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel yet, I'll post that here. We day trade live every single weekday morning for free right here on YouTube. And so if you haven't already, go subscribe to my channel. Again, it's completely free. And we day trade a lot of these stocks live every single day right there on YouTube for free. We don't charge for a course. We don't sell a service. We don't charge a penny for anything. It's all free. And so again, if you appreciate that, go subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, we'll be day trading live starting early tomorrow morning. Like we always do, we trade everything from Dogecoin, penny stocks, some mid and high caps as well. And so if you want to watch us trade some of these stocks we're going over today, as well as maybe Dogecoin tomorrow, because I did buy some shares, again, y'all go subscribe right now. And I'll post this to the chat. There's a post right there. So again, I'll consider it a favor if you guys go subscribe. It's really just youtube.com/beginner trading. And yeah, James, thank you, brother. I'll see you guys in the morning. Bright and early. Yes, sir, Ahmed. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the love, bro. I hope you're doing well, man. Hadn't seen you in the stream the last week, bro. So I hope you're doing good, man. See you, Jeff. Hey, good luck, Jeff. Oh, that's rough, Jeff. Sorry to hear that, brother. Wish you the best, man. Yeah, for sure. Tanvir, CLOV. All right, I got you, Will. Real quick, CLOV. We'll take a look at it real quick. Just the daily chart, though. Just the daily chart. Daily chart's a little sketchy. It's downward trend, not looking great. But to play the other side, though, the last month and a half, the last 2 months or so, the daily chart's not looking that bad. I think the big level that a lot of people are watching is going to be 850. Like, here's that level there. That's kind of a level where it's a $0.50. We can look at $8 as well, but I think if 850 breaks, if it breaks below 850, I think the sentiment is changing. But we'll see. I had some fun trading that one in the last few weeks, and so we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you're coming from my channel, Hit that like and subscribe button on this show right now. If you haven't already, subscribe to Benzinga. Great platform for traders. If you're interested in investing, trading, day trading, any of that, you need to be subscribed to Benzinga. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Again, I'll post my YouTube link one more time for those in the back. I'm going to title this Beginner Trading, and we'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early. Good luck. We'll see you guys later. Have a good day.